Have you ever found yourself saying one thing but meaning something totally different? Or maybe you've listened to someone and just had this gut feeling that their words didn't quite line up with what they were really trying to say? Well, today we're going to dive into that hidden world of communication, where what we say is really just the tip of the iceberg. And we're going to start with what looks like a super simple exchange.
So take a look at this. It's a 5-line conversation recorded by a linguist named Peter Grundy. And at first glance, it seems perfectly normal, right? Just a quick, everyday chat between a stranger and a family. It's the kind of thing you'd probably overhear at a bus stop and completely forget about 2 seconds later.
But let's look a little closer. Yeah, the conversation makes sense on the surface. It's coherent. But trying to figure out what each person actually means? Now that is a whole different puzzle. This little exchange holds a pretty fascinating mystery about how we all communicate.
Okay, so let's put on our linguistic detective hats. We're going to break this thing down, line by line, and see if we can uncover the crazy complex web of intentions and meanings that are hiding just beneath the surface of these simple words.
It all kicks off with one single word from the small boy. Men. Now, factually, he's correct. He's identifying the linguist who's walking by. Easy enough. But what is he actually trying to do with that word? What's his goal here?
And this is where it gets fun, because there are so many possibilities. Is he just showing off for his family? Like, hey everyone, look how clever I am. I know that's a man. Or is he making a judgment call? Is he trying to signal that this guy seems like a good thing? Or maybe he's horrible? The word is just man, but the message could be any of these.
All right, now it's the linguist's turn. He turns to the girl and asks what seems like a simple question. But again, let's dig a little deeper. Why did he phrase it exactly like that, and why would he refer to the boy who's standing right there as that?
You see, even a basic question like this is just loaded with social strategy. Maybe he was a little bit offended by the boy just pointing him out, and using that was his way of creating some distance. Or maybe he was trying to create a little friendly bond with the sister, kind of teaming up with her. The words are simple, but what's happening underneath is anything but.
So now we get to the responses. And as you're about to see, even the simplest, most basic words we use are absolutely packed with potential subtext. It all depends on who's speaking and what the situation is.
The girl's reply is just one word. Yes. Seems pretty straightforward, right? Come on, everybody knows what yes means. But here's the catch. No word really has a fixed, stable meaning. Its true meaning is all about the situation it's used in.
Just think about it for a second. Her yes could be colored by all sorts of things. Maybe she's nervous because a total stranger is talking to her. Or it could have a little hint of irritation like, why are you asking me that? Or maybe it's just a kind of shy, modest confirmation. That one little word is a container for a whole range of emotions.
And finally, we land on the mother's response. The linguist says it takes all sorts, which is a classic British way of saying, wow, people are different. And the mother comes back with, it certainly does. This might be the most ambiguous and revealing line in the whole exchange.
Her agreement could mean so many completely different things. Is she proudly agreeing like, yep, that's my unique, eccentric son? Or is she being a bit cheeky and turning the comment right back on the linguist himself, as if to say, you're a bit odd too, buddy? Or maybe it's a really tired sigh, a way of saying you have no idea he's such a handful. The same words can paint 3 totally different pictures.
Now, this whole gap between our words and our real meaning, it's not just something that happens in spoken conversations. So let's jump to a modern example that causes a lot of arguments. Texting. Is it really destroying language as we know it? So, there are basically 2 ways to look at this whole thing. You've got the traditional, prescriptivist view, which says language is a set of fixed rules and you'd better follow them. But then there's the modern, pedagogic view, which is all about describing language as it's actually used by real people in real life. And that second view is where texting gets really interesting.
We've all seen these, right? LOL, ROF, TNX. They started out as a clever way to save space and time on those old flip phone keypads, but they pretty quickly turned into a kind of social shorthand. And this language is always changing, from those early acronyms to the way we use emojis and GIFs today to show exactly the right emotional tone. It's all about creating a community and showing that you're part of the group that gets it.
And here's the part that might surprise you. While a lot of people were worried that texting was going to completely ruin kids' writing skills, some research has actually shown that the opposite can be true. Because texting forces you to be playful and creative with sounds, letters, and grammar, it can actually boost a person's awareness of how language works. Who knew?
Okay, so if the world of communication is this complex, how in the world do we all navigate it every day? Well, it turns out that every single native speaker has this secret linguistic toolkit that they use constantly without even realizing it. So let's open it up and take a look at what's inside. Because understanding these tools is the real key to becoming a better communicator.
The first tool in our kit is understanding purpose. See, we don't just use language to state facts. We use it to do things. We use it to invite people, to apologize, to complain, to suggest. So when someone says, "Wow, it's cold in here," they're probably not just giving you a weather report, they're performing the function of a request. "Hey, could you please close the window?"
Now, for any one purpose, there are a million different ways to phrase it. Just look at all these different ways to invite someone to go to the movies. They go all the way from the super formal and polite, like, "I was wondering if you might like to come," down to the extremely casual, "Cinema tonight? Yeah?" And choosing the right one for the moment brings us to our next tool.
And that tool is called register. This is our amazing automatic ability to adjust our language depending on the context. We think about the setting. Are we in an office or a coffee shop? We think about the participants. Are we talking to our boss or our best friend? And of course, we think about the topic. We just don't talk about something serious the same way we talk about a new movie we saw. And the final tool in the kit is something called genre. This is our shared understanding of different types of communication. When you see a job ad or a thank you email or a poem, you instantly recognize what it is and what its purpose is. That shared knowledge helps us figure out the meaning way, way faster.
So when you put all of that together, purpose, register, and genre, you start to see that we are constantly performing this brilliant complex analysis every single time we talk or listen to someone. And mastering this toolkit is what really separates just talking from being a truly effective communicator.
And all of this leads us to the single most important takeaway. There is no simple, one-to-one match between the words we use and what we actually mean by them. Communication is a dynamic, living dance between context, intention, and interpretation. So, I'll leave you with this to think about. The next time you're in a conversation, try to listen a little closer. Pay attention not just to the words people are saying, but to the purpose behind those words and the whole context surrounding them. What are you really saying? And, more importantly, what are they really saying to you?